So today is an exciting day. I'm adding a brand new 3D printer to my print farm, and this is the Wondermaker ZR. Now, if you follow my channel at all, you know I have a little side hustle running a 3D printing business. And right now I've just kind of been going with 3D printers, but with Christmas time, with selling on Amazon, I've been having a hard time keeping up, so I really needed to add one more to my fleet. Now, this Wondermaker is new to the market, and there's not a ton of information out on it yet, but there are a few things that really intrigued me. So not only is this thing really fast at printing, but it also has a huge print bed at 300 millimeter by 300 millimeter. So my idea with running my print farm is I can either just keep adding more and more printers, or I could get larger printers so I don't have to add as many. So with this larger print bed, I will be able to do multi-prints at one time instead of just kind of doing one off and have to clear the build plate and start again. So I'm hoping that really saves a lot of time in the future. So with all that being said, we'll do a quick run through of how I got this thing set up. We're going to put it in its final spot and we're going to try it out. So when I got this thing delivered, a little surprised just how big and heavy it was, which really isn't a bad thing for 3D printers. Nice solid base, but unboxing it just was easier just to cut it from the sides. A lot of these things than trying to pull it out of the box. Just kind of do what you can to get it out of that box, but pretty straightforward. I thought it came terrifically well packaged. Wasn't worried about it getting damaged with how it was shipped, that was for sure. So getting out of the box, there really wasn't a ton of assembly to it. Probably takes maybe 15-20 minutes at the most to get everything put together. Instructions were pretty clear as well, but basically you're just adding things to the side here. So the ZR model supports 4 different colors for you can do multicolor prints, you can do solid prints, but it's really easy with that touch screen just to decide what print you're gonna do. So installing these things on the side were pretty straightforward. There's just kind of I'm not even sure what was this filament spreader, and then the actual driving of the filament with this box here. But they're both labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's pretty easy hooking up the tubes and everything, keeping everything straight as far as filament goes. So it is important to know if you're checking out this machine for yourself, there I believe are 3 different models. So this is the Wondermaker ZR, there's a ZR Ultra, and then I think the ZR Ultra S. So this is just, you got one extruder at the top here. The Ultra I think has 4 extruders, if I'm saying that right. So, which is really cool. I know that's kind of maybe the future. So you have 0 waste. You can do 4 different colors, but each one will have a different head, so you can print different type of material and everything. And I think that ZR Ultra S comes in close. So there are the 3 different machines. Each one kind of has its difference. But this machine as well, you could get the enclosure, you can get a camera for it, so there are a few add-ons. This is just kind of the basic unit I got. So jumping back into that setup, basically you have 2, I don't know if you want to say dowels to hold the filament, where you can do 2 on each side. Now I know there was maybe some concern about if the inside one runs out, the filament, if it's easy enough to change. It really is. It's not a big deal. You can take this one off, you could pull the whole filament off, but to me, switching filaments, it's not a huge thing. You're not doing it all the time. These, depending on what you're printing, these last for a little while, so not a main hiccup. The one thing I really liked about this design, actually, compared to you got the AMS or different styles for using different colors at the same time, is with the AMS style, for me, I get a lot of jams. And so that some could be operator error and there may be maintenance to it. But I'm hoping with this setup, because it's just free rolling, I guess, and it's being pulled up, that the jams really aren't going to be an issue like they might be with a different style setup like that. So basically, time will tell how that works out, but I kind of excited to try out this setup long term. So something I'm super excited about this machine is actually something as simple as the screen. So I've never had a machine with a nice big colored touch screen like this. And even on other printers with smaller screens, most of the stuff is fine, but what I'm most excited about is when I'm actually printing, and when you do have these color choices, you can choose the filament right from the screen here. So that's been I guess a hardship for some of these other machines with their screen, is you have to basically, if you want to choose the different colors, you have to either use your app on your phone or the computer. You can't do it right from the touch screen. It's just going to automatically default to the, if it's an AMS or something like that, to the first one in line. But this one's super easy just to select whatever colors you have. You can set up the colors in here as well. So that's what I'm going for, especially with the print farm. I want to be able to just come out here, hit a few buttons, and let it go. And that's what I'm hoping this machine is going to do for me. So now that I have this machine all set up, of course you want to try see how it prints. Now it does have a little test file that you can print right preloaded on the screen, but of course you're going to want to print your own stuff, either that you design or that you download from the internet. So how do you do that? Now this is kind of where I stumbled a little bit because this machine is so new. So I use Orca Slicer, and I couldn't find this machine on Orca Slicer. Now I don't have a clue how that even works. In my past machines I've used, I've been able to find them in the slicers, and then they're all preloaded for the presets and everything. So I'm guessing they're working on that. Eventually it's going to be on Orca, if it's not already. But I'm kind of playing around with the machine for the last 10 days, I would say, and figuring it all out. So basically what I had to do is create its own separate profile. Now this uses open source Clipper software, whatever that means. And so in Orca, I was just able to use a generic Clipper software and kind of give the measurements and everything. And actually I was able to set up wirelessly too. You can get the IP address, load that in the Orca software. So overall, not a huge deal. You're able to use it as normal, I guess. But that definitely was a little stumbling block to start off with, because I've never experienced like creating my own printer in the Slicer software. But just a tip on that, because in some of the other videos I've seen where guys had these printers, I never saw how they were actually loading files in the machine. So just a little tip on that. Now basically right away I got into printing some stuff that I like to sell, just to kind of see how it all works. And this has, I think it's PEI plate, so 300 by 300, so kind of the same as my other machines that I've used. This one has a little smoother texture on the bottom, which it's still really nice. I don't know if it really matters, but it does stick completely fine to the plate as well, so that's not an issue. But overall, great print quality. Releases as soon as you take the magnetic plate off, so no issues with that at all. So it's 2025, I wouldn't even consider a machine that doesn't have self-leveling, self-homing, all that stuff. And this does it really easily, just kind of start off from scratch. Now, when you originally start this machine, it's going to go through a software update. You're going to go through the whole process. But at any time, you can kind of rehome it or whatever, if necessary. So really key for a new machine, especially running a print farm, is you don't want to be messing around with self-leveling beds or anything. That was many years ago with older machines, and now this is the future where you should just be able to hit a button and it does it all for you. All right, so now we kind of went over that machine. We're going to get it all loaded up kind of to its final spot here. I got a little bit of a mess here for sure, so we're going to address that. We're going to get it cleared up, get the machine where it's going to be permanently. So let's do that. So as you can see, it fits perfectly in its new spot. You can see my other kind of printers in their cages behind. So I'm really excited to kind of have this new addition to the shop. Now, kind of sadly, I probably won't ever use the full capabilities of the machine. Testing it out with multicolored prints and the print quality, and it can definitely print a lot of larger stuff as well. It all did a really nice job with that. I'm hoping it's going to be the workhorse, where it's just going to I'll print a handful of different items on this, just kind of over and over and over. So a machine like this, it's hard to really know the reliability of it until you put some hours on it. So I'm hopeful with the setup that it's going to work really well for me. Now, if you do have any questions on the Wondermaker ZR, please leave them in that comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. I'll provide a link. You can check out the website, buy one for yourself if you'd like. And as always, I'm Chad from Chad DIY, and we'll see you on the next one.